All right, folks, what's up? It's a Salty Vet. Unfortunately, I'm back. I have long thought, until about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago maybe, that maybe the only thing in this country that everybody could get behind was that pedophiles are evil. They're sick. And that sex trafficking was wrong and needed to be stopped. Very basic principles. And I'm extremely disturbed by the fact that apparently I was wrong. Most of you have heard about Jim Caviezel's movie Sound of Freedom. I went and saw it. I highly recommend everybody to go see it because for me it was eye-opening. I did not know that the sex trafficking problem, or human, it's slavery, child trafficking in particular, was as prevalent and as massive in scale as it is. I was just ignorant, didn't have any idea. I knew it existed. The movie shed a lot of light on that. But then a couple of days after the release on the 4th of July, I started seeing these articles. And the articles nearly all referenced a group of people and a term that I haven't heard in a minute. And that term is QAnon. Now, I have come to believe that QAnon is a slang term for conspiracy theorists, right? It's whenever the media wants to distract from a given story, and you can, check me on this, at least the big stories, they will reference QAnon as being the crackpot, alt-right, secret society, whatever the fuck they are. I don't even know. And it's just, it's mind-blowing to me just on the scope of the media shitting on a movie that actually addresses a real problem. The United States is the #1 purveyor of child pornography and sex trafficking in the world. That's an important point to remember as we go through this. #1 in the world. Rolling Stone had the headline that popped out the most to me. And it was, Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. And I read it again because I thought I'd misread it the first time. And I didn't. That's verbatim what it says. And rather than focusing on how well the movie represented recent historical facts and how well it represented the life of Tim Ballard, whom Jim Caviezel plays in the movie, it shit all over it. Only briefly mentioned child trafficking, sex trafficking at all, and instead went down this fucking QAnon rabbit hole, which I have no earthly idea what that's about. I mean, I kind of know, but I don't give that stuff any lip service, right? And I saw it again on CNN, and I saw it again on MSNBC, and I saw it again on the Washington Post. And then I started thinking, okay, what is the thought process behind shitting on a movie that, you know, did really well with almost no marketing? Nobody wanted to touch this. And from what I've read, Disney owned the rights to this movie. This movie is 5 years old. It was made 5 years ago. And no production company would touch it. Why is that? That's my first question. It's a problem that clearly exists. It's not made up. It is factual in its data. Yet nobody wanted to touch it. And it's the same people who, we must protect the children. Well, okay. You can start by showing this fucking movie on as many screens as you can get it on. That's not what they did. They did the exact opposite. So, the skeptic in me, and I hate that I'm this way, but the media has shown me far too many times that they're not interested in actual journalism. They're trying to sell, you know, put butts in front of the TV. If you have something that everyone can see who has a pair of eyes is an actual thing. We're not talking about UFOs. We're not talking about Bigfoot. We're not talking about the Loch Ness Monster. We're talking about children who are sold as a commodity. Just like you would sell heroin. Just like you would sell a car, just like you would sell a dog. A commodity. And yet nearly that I can find, every left-leaning media source, be it print or digital or televised, has come out and trashed this movie from the QAnon angle. And I ask myself, okay, what would be the purpose of that? What would be the purpose of a movie that, you know, was an underdog by anybody's estimation or definition of that word, doing the money that it did through basically social media? That was the only marketing I saw on it. I didn't see one movie trailer. I didn't see anything. The movie trailer I saw was on Facebook. So that makes me think, when you have something and you try to shit on somebody else's work, that my gut tells me you're trying to cover something up. Right now, I'm not all with Pizzagate and all that horse shit. And maybe that's where they're coming from, right? Nobody with a brain believes that shit. What I'm talking about is the cold, hard facts that you can look up on any, you know, any government's website. This actually happens. And you have a movie telling people about a really difficult subject, and the media has not only ignored it, which I could understand, they actively attacked it. So I will continue to do research on this, because there's a problem somewhere, right, in this whole narrative, that it's a QAnon, like only people who are QAnon or believe what QAnon believes would like this movie. I read that basic statement multiple times, which is not even close to the truth. I went to be educated. I like Jim Caviezel as an actor, just as a general rule. but to be educated, and I had no idea of the scope and the depth of this problem. So be careful and understand what you're reading. Ask yourself, who owns this? Because whoever owns it is driving what's being printed, even though they say they don't. Because journalism in America is almost dead. You really have to seek it out. Matt Taibbi, Michael Schellenberger, Glenn Greenwald, these people, the reason they're being attacked is because they're reporting shit that the people in charge don't want you to hear about. That is clear. They did that right in front of Congress. They showed their true colors. But this is an issue that needs to be discussed, and it's a hard one to hear. It's a hard one to listen to. But the fact that the media is shitting on it should make everybody within the, that can hear my voice or that has seen the movie go, I wonder why that is. Maybe we should ask tougher fucking questions.